right. This has been a very slow news day that has been really crappy as well, in the sense that uh, nothing of any real value or importance has occurred today. It's just been people basically making little comments on the campaign trail, and I'll probably talk more about that tomorrow. But I wanted to speak on this thing, like an offshoot of yesterday, and not necessarily regurgitated, but it kind of reminds me of something. Um, there is a YouTube commentator. I'm not going to say his name. You might be able to guess who he is, but I'm going to stick to my thing of not saying people's names. And he oftentimes talks about the influence of his successful online behavior or persona, uh, and it's clashing with his mother, who is, I believe, she runs a church or something. And he's mentioned how when he tells her about it, she says, "Oh my God, how could you speak in such a way, about people and talk so negatively and disparagingly and blah blah blah." But when he gave her money that he had earned from his online activities, would you like to know what she did? Do you think that she jumped in front of her wallet and said, "I will not take this funding from you, son that speaks in ways I do not agree with"? No, she took it and used it for her own purposes and whatnot. And, no one's contesting that, but I find it so ironic that people they like to protest things and then reap the benefits after it's proven to, I guess, be something that a person can turn a profit from. And this is when well, you missed a hell of a day yesterday. To give you a recap, imagine laying down and all of a sudden someone is plundering through your things, and then another person decides to take part in that. And then when you say anything that they don't like, which includes profanity, but no screaming, no putting your hands on people, you start getting threatened with getting kicked out and all this other nonsense. All this happens over the course of maybe 2 hours of you getting up. It's it was really something out of a cartoon. Yeah, that I live with. That was someone who did that, and I got no explanation for why they did it. When they were finished, they threw all this stuff around here. I that's why I told you I really hate people. I think that they when they get around others, they're so it was very random envoy. I had no warning, no surprise, nothing. Just it was you wake up and then, or what's a good another way to illustrate the noises that were being made? That. And if I had made the statement during when this was going on, I said, "You're acting confused as to like why I would be so pissed off over this, but if I went to any of these people's quarters, their place of where they leave their precious and valuable things, and started doing that, instantly I would have either been questioned really quickly, or they would have gotten pissed off to the point of screaming and losing their minds and acting like a crazy person. And because I go out of my way to not shout because it hurts my voice and I don't like drama, there is this impression that I can be ran over or otherwise, susceptible to not feeling any to basically flipping my position or not espousing what it is. Which is why when that person said, "Hey, go for a walk," I said, "I'll go, but it's not going to change anything." And I came back just as pissed off as I was when I left, because you can't erase things that make no sense to someone and then hope that if they're just not around it, or if a day passes, or if whatever the hell circumstance that occurs happens, it's going to magically get rid of whatever they thought of before. I'm just as pissed off yesterday as I am today. The only reason these people have not had the verbal lashing that I would like to deliver is because there's too much to risk by doing something like that. But rest assured, once I have a bit of a mental archive of all that crazy stuff that's been done. Once I don't have to worry about that anymore. Those supposed consequences. I will say whatever I want, but no kind of thought. But thanks to this thing called foresight, which is No, I don't need to. Like I said, this is part of a string of very bizarre behaviors that I will maybe in like a year or two be able to fully state. But right now I can't. I kind of have my hands tied because when you're, you know, right in the middle of this group of bile, you have to put up with certain things. But my point was when I and just bringing it up right now is that if I had gone up to these people and just they wake up and I'm moving a bunch of their stuff and scattering all over the place like the first person did or like the second person did, going through it and throwing stuff out, they would get pissed off, and they should get pissed off if you are an adult and you have a particular way you want things to be done. I don't believe someone should just be able to, especially without saying anything in advance, come and try to impart their ways on you in some hostile takeover type of manner. Um, and as I stated in my in yesterday, I don't think I stated yesterday, but the reason this is hypocritical is because there are two other people who because you can imagine, as you've seen me wear only the same couple of clothes each time, have way more stuff than me, to where the another person who's here actually had to make a closet for one of them and had to clean out another closet for them. So, when you know that and you know that the others have had more stuff, it's just no, it's people that, oh my God, Envoy, you're gonna there was no robbery involved. It's simply a matter of not being able to keep your hands on your own stuff. But that's why I said I really, when I try to explain this stuff, people like to getting flashbacks to some of a particular person, like to ask a bunch of questions. But yeah, oh my God, why would he be upset by this? Well, you would be upset by it too. You're just not experiencing it, and I'm just not in the mood to go through the whole yelling period thing that a lot of these people would do if they had the same circumstance. Now, I also, in the case of one of them, when they tried to, I guess, interject themselves, I had someone else say, "Oh, well, they're doing that because they're related to that person, they're family." And I thought to myself, what the hell does being related to someone have to do with them invading the space of another person who is an adult, and you blindly co-signing with them? And I said to myself, that is not a family, that's a cult. Because when you turn your brain off to back someone just because they're uh, your mother or your brother or your son, whoever the hell, without thinking about what particularly about this do I like or do I actually stand with them on, it literally is the the definition of a cult. And that's why I said I'm so glad I don't have these like blind devotions to people. I'll say I appreciate this person for this, but I'm not going to sit there and go, well, because this person is upset with this one over here because they did something to them, I must now hate them as well. Because I don't, I try to critically think about things. Like, if this person hasn't bothered me, I don't really see a need to be upset with them. But again, that's a bit of a difference between me and my contemporary. God, I just, the amount of hell that could have been that I could have said yesterday is and I still can say, and I'm very patiently biding my time to say, is really comedic in a way. I don't know why YouTube alert for some reason they alert me in my email that I'm doing a stream as if I would not be aware of that. It's a bit of a strange thing. But yeah, I don't understand a lot of and it's always people grandstand because see, I try to not state my like outwardly, in real life, going so, oh, I would never do this, uh, because I think showing it is more important than telling. And it's always some other person who gets to run in their mouths that tries to make you think they have some set of morals. When we had the immigration crap going on this past June, right? where people are saying, "Oh my God, Trump is putting babies in cages." I got a flashback because I did a video about this person on Twitter last year, who always talked about the Yemen war, where the U.S. under the last two presidents has been, literally participating in a genocide that's killed thousands of people, including small children. I think it was 80,000 children under the age of 5, some statistic like that. And when I sat here and I watched all of these people keep whining about these immigrants, but then they say nothing about the people we're killing overseas year after year. I'm like, look, you're not going to get me to come to your side because you are selective, which is why they call it selective outrage in whose death you're pissed off over. And when I said that, a lot of them tried to say that you're deflecting. I said, no, no, no. You are God. I swear, politics and real life are so similar. They tried to say that one didn't have to do with the other. I said, no, no. You're complaining about the unnecessary, uh, from your point of view anyway, things that are being done to children. It's like, okay, well then, if we agree that the immigration, like the baby in cages thing is such a horrible thing, then what do you have to say about literally killing them overseas? Oh, they're not on U.S. soil, so you don't care. Oh, that sounds very. I believe that. Um, and I told one of them, I don't really feel anything because, as I said before, Obama deported the most illegal immigrants of any president. It was over 2 million, slightly larger than Bush 43. And I didn't see any of these people complaining. I didn't see any. I saw some Hispanics who were affected by this, you know, dumb policy getting upset, but not other groups. And it's like they all decided because they're doing their little "I hate Trump no matter what" dance to get pissed off and you know appropriate this issue and act so uh, enraged as a result of this. I said, I've been following this stuff for over 5 years. I've seen one person do this stuff and no one complains about it, and the other one do things, and now you guys just start getting mad. It's like, no, I don't. You're not going to get me to be part of your little selective outrage party. But when I had brought up the fact that there were the other people here have more stuff than me, and they had to make more space for them, that person said the same thing. That doesn't have anything to do with you. Said it's all like it's the same place. I mean, if I gave this example last night, if I tell you, if let's pretend uh, Beverly Hills was the street next to Compton, and I'm the mayor or I'm the governor of California, and I have Beverly Hills get all of its streets cleaned and uh, try to make the place look so presentable, and then people are like, wow, Beverly Hills looks so great, and then you walk down the next street and you see Compton, you say, well, what the hell? And that's the point that you can't have things that are right next to each other and aggressively pursue one and then leave the other ones all. I mean, that they're really lucky. I don't take a picture of some of this stuff and put it online. You would see the hypocrisy. But imagine an entire just floor of a bunch of stuff, just like that's literally one of the rooms, and like it because it's not owned by me. But in that case it would get gone after the person just let it stay there. Like, oh, that's okay, that's all right, it's a okay. That's why I said they pretend they have morals because you can sit here and cry foul over what someone's closet or whatever, but then you have this other stuff just scattered around the place. Yeah, I'm probably gonna be talking about this for the next couple of days. Oh man, they really hijacked my Saturday. That was supposed to be a great day. I had done that documentary. I had done that stream about the goat, and you wake up and you get this. I didn't even say hello to Brawl Vulture until now. I just realized that he's probably gonna be pissed off. He's gonna unsub and complain that he was treated so poorly in comparison with Envoy. So no, you didn't leave any comments. I didn't. If you left more comments, I would have read them. Although we already talked about the situation last night. Yeah, I was hoping that I think I went to sleep 3 times. I went to sleep at 12, this which is pretty rare for me to not do the like, recently to not do the, like, all-nighter thing. But I went to sleep at 12, and I woke up, it was 4 something, and then, around 7 or 8, I went back to or 9, I went back to sleep, and then, I think I woke up and then was still tired and then went back to it. That's just I just kept hoping maybe I can wake up and it won't be pissing me off. I was like, no, it still makes me mad. And I'm just gonna give you a little hint. If I'm 40 and I have nothing to do but sit home and watch TV for 2 days straight, I would shoot myself in the head. Like even now, I always have a project. I always, do some stuff on here. There's a lot of things that I would hate for that to be me. Like it's been the fate for someone else. And I told you, if you say any of this to their faces, what do? They scream, they yell, they try to confront you, but it's all the truth. Everything that's been said here has been reality. You might not like the way it's being said, but these are things you can't escape from. In the sense that, you can try to silence me and, you know, you better stop saying things about Lula, but it doesn't erase that it is reality. Just like how this person that I had mentioned yesterday got so pissed off over what I had to say, which again, I didn't scream. I did use some profanity. Um, but I literally have proof that the other two people that are around here have screamed and shouted and raised their voices and done all the usual theatrics, right? And I was I was sitting there, I was thinking to myself, this person when they found out that this bimbo that didn't have a pot to piss and had a child, they reacted kind of like the way I did, where it was they thought it was stupid on day one, but after they had it, they brought them some free food. They let them come over to their house. And I'm like, you're more upset with me for some comments I made on one day, which again were fact based, even if you didn't like the way they were said, than you are with an idiot who is going to destroy a child's life for the next 18 to God knows how many years. But that's why I said when you know these people and their associations and the company they keep, and then they try to get up here and go, I will not stand for things like this being said to me. You don't buy it because you've experienced the events of watching them have people do worse things than you could ever do. Um, and y- the fact that they only get upset that one day and then ignore it for the rest of the year, and then in some cases embrace the same people who did these dumb things, it doesn't allow for you to say, well, I really screwed up. No, because you have no actual morals, because people who do things that are monumental, life ruining decisions get to come right back. And it really doesn't get, because we talked about how I've said before, if someone goes to jail for a nonviolent crime, uh, I'm not really against interacting with them, because it it, I'm not, if someone goes to prison because they smoked a joint, I'm not going to think, oh my God, this person's so dangerous. So if you associate with those people, I'm not specifically saying anything negative about it. I'm just talking specifically about the fact that you had a person who made the willful choice, knowing that they didn't have a pot to piss in, to have a kid, because they act like a condom doesn't exist, and you associate with them and would never say half the stuff you said to me as I was responding to a random act that you were participating in. I don't know if anyone's getting what I'm saying there, but basically, if I say something, it's treated worse than if someone does something that ruins another person's life, or and their own, by the way. I remember I was reading this one. I think somebody wrote me a comment. They were like, if the person was smart, they would have given it to a foster home. I said, no. If the person was smart, they would have kept their legs closed until they could afford it. Like, how hard is it? Let me get up. How hard is it to do this? Like, am I a magician for being able to, not end up in the same circumstances as these people. I should have done it from the front where I close it right there. Hey, bro, Vulture, remember the dirty sneaker comment where I had the shoe and I took it up and pointed at it and all that because I was making the point that I didn't think the person was qualified to lick the back end of that dirty shoe. I remember with this same person, we actually had a joke that she was working at eight not what's that company called? What's the TV company? Well, there's some Direct TV. We had a joke that she was working at Direct TV. When they go to people's houses, they fix TV. And I told the person, there is no way in hell that someone as dumb as her is going to be in the truck, come in and go, yes. So what seems to be the problem here? Oh, you got a power outage. All right, I'll uninstall. No way. You can't. The only thing that person can do is hold up some currency and like any other thing that requires working with hands. I mean, they're not that person's stupid. And I'm not saying that to suggest that it's like a gender thing because I know a lot of stupid dudes as well that they get this one position because they know someone who works there or there's another factor that comes into play. And I tried to say that when I see someone like that have this thing that really is like going nowhere, and then even if they stayed on it, they could still theoretically get somewhere because what they're taking in is more than they're putting out. And then they say, oh, you know what? Let me complicate this 1,000 times more by having a child. Like it makes no sense to me. But like I said, um, no one will call that out. And then a person like that will get embraced by the same people who want to make you feel bad for something you said. And I told him, nice try. I'll repeat it today. Like it I'm not I don't pretend to be friendly with people that piss me off or that I don't like. The most they can get from me is a hello if they happen to, worm way into my presence. But all this stuff of going to see a movie and you want to go here and no. Told you it I believe in consequences. I believe in steaks and not steaks as in the ones you put on the grill and fry up, but steaks as in the if you do this, this happens. Because if you don't have that, then what do you have? You have a bunch of people who can think they can roll you over and make whatever dumb little comment. I like steaks too; they're so yummy. Uh, Roll you over and make whatever little comment they think is funny or otherwise, not as offensive, and hope that you'll just get over it. And that it doesn't work like that. Um, and again, these people are hanging on by a thread, and they don't even realize it. They're very lucky that a couple of circumstances have not gone the way I would like them to. But again, I don't have control over employers and all these other folks that run these places. If I did, it would be a new day. Because I told you, they like to do this thing where they sit here and speculate. Oh well, he'll be over it in a week or a month. Like, no, it's still there. I'm not going to mention it, but right in the back of there. And then when they say, I love it when they say, "What did I do to you?" I go, let's see. You did this year. You did this. And before someone says, "Well, it's not right to hold things over people's head." Um, I mean, should I always forgive someone? I mean, like for example, if someone shoots me, should I forgive them because 1,000 days passed? If someone stabs me, should they be forgiven because that was 3 years ago or 4 years ago? No. I think it's very simple and very easy to get along with me. And I've had and this is my point that regular people don't randomly come to your quarters and start screwing with stuff out of nowhere. Regular people don't, to your face, compare something you've said to that of some degenerate criminal or whatever. And I'm telling you, a lot of the people who do these things, they actually do forget that they did them. And I'm like, that just shows how loose your lips are, because when I'm trying to be good acquaintances with someone, I attempt to at least respect them. And you can't respect someone if you do these things. By doing what they did yesterday, that was a proof of no respect for my authority. And by a lot of the comments they made, no respect for really anything I've stated. It reminds me of that broad I spoke to that asking all these questions about this romance stuff, and then by the end of it was more than willing to lump me into the category with all these dudes that are part of that a group I will not mention the name of here. And I thought to myself, if you were just some random clown that was online, whatever, but the fact that you sat there and spoke to me and claimed that you understood what I was saying over and over again before doing this, it makes you look all the more like a scumbag. I mean, for example, if I sat here and had, I don't know, 30 phone calls with Envoy, who has stopped commenting, I think someone did something to him. And at the end of it, I tell him, you know what, I no, during the calls, I say, oh, I understand you don't like, however many I have with her, that he's not a fan of this. And because, I don't know, you're pissed off or you just don't care, you still say he's that anyway. But again, if I went on here and I said, like, let's say I asked her in some calls, how many men have you slept with, right? 30-year-old person, she says two or three or four. And I go, okay, that's someone who is very limited in their partners. And then I go on social media and I go, man, that hoe. It's like, yeah, that is purposely attempting to not understand nor gain any comprehension of what the person actually does, as displayed by your rhetoric. And that's literally what was done yesterday. I mean, it felt like with a bunch of these people, you're just talking to brick walls. Like what you say goes right through them, and it's not because they can't comprehend things, because they can go to some, and I've made this point before. A lot of people like to play stupid, because when you see them on these jobs, for example, and their boss says, "Hey, go take this out. Hey, don't do that," they do it. But then when you go when you get in a call with them or you see them in person, oh man, I guess I understand what you said. Like, no, you didn't. You purposely, you went out of your way to not understand. Excuse me. And they don't care. They like to you know they love this game of acting really confused and not understanding of what's going on. And it really has served to piss me off. Well, I didn't say you in particular, Kevin. I just I mean, I've given examples of what I'm talking about. They say one thing, do the other, or they're okay with one pattern of behavior. Man, this isn't even about that. They're okay with one pattern of behavior, and then they let somebody else get away with something worse or the same thing for no reason, or for a reason that is so ridiculous that you like. I never would have thought, oh my God, you're related to me. Must side with you on everything against everyone else. Screw that. Yeah, I'm good. I don't need to be part of anyone's bootlicking rubber stamp party. It's room temperature. I didn't put it in the freezer. But yeah, I'll probably because the chat's kind of inactive, I'll just wrap this up quickly. Um the things I say on here I attempt to do. I do try to have morals. I don't like to hang around people that I find the lifestyle of to be rather crass. And I said before, I don't have tattoos. I don't drink, but I don't have a problem with people who do those things And that's really the only difference in, I guess, lifestyle that we have, because I don't see those as morally questionable. But when you can rub elbows and be buddy buddy with someone who's destroying another person's life, and then get upset with someone like me for saying something you didn't like one day out of the year, then yeah, I think you're a hypocrite. So thank you for checking us out. I appreciate it. See you tomorrow.